reflection. See, before starting reflection, students, don't write anything. First, listen here. Don't write. We'll start the basic concept of graph. Okay, basic. You know what is x-axis and y-axis, right? This is x. Look at x, x dash, where two lines meet, students. We call this as line of reference. Okay, these two are known as line of reference. First line of reference is xo x dash. Called coordinate axis, or we call line of reference or coordinate axis, the yellow one, xo x dash. Next we have yo y dash. Okay, the yellow line is called xo x dash and the y line is called yo y dash. Top we have y, o and y dash. Fine. So this angle formed here is 90 degrees, student, which means both are straight, both are perpendicular. That's first quadrant. First quadrant. Here it is second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Okay, this is the first point. Next, on axis. Island Bhargavi, what is funny, students? They always keep laughing and smiling at each other. Look at the values here. If I draw small lines, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. In graph, you'll have small boxes. Okay, so right hand side it is plus, left hand side minus. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and here you'll have 1, 2, 3. Now, if let me point a plot, I'll point plot a point. If I plot it here, where is this point plotted, students? In the first quadrant, which quadrant? There are four quadrants. First quadrant. Okay. If you pull it towards x-axis, what's the value here? 3. And if you pull towards y-axis, 2. Both are positive. So we always write first x and next y. These both put together, we call it as coordinate. What do you call them? Coordinate. In coordinates, to be specific, we call this as abscissa. What's the spelling? Abscissa. Yeah, just something like this, student. Check your notes, abscissa, and this is known as ordinate. Make a note, draw this graph. Together, we call it as coordinates. Yeah, Angel, turn on the video. Angel, Cecilia, Abigail. Okay, if not, let me do one thing. So I'll just explain everything. You can make a note later. So together we call it as coordinate. Look at the screen. The first one is abscissa, second one is ordinate. X is abscissa, Y is ordinate. Okay. Next, let me plot a point here. Okay, you tell me the answer. First, X. Where is it touching? Towards X. And Y? 1. So this is X and Y. Right? Now one more point here. What about this? How come 3? Third quadrant. Look at third quadrant. Minus 1. Minus. Give me the fourth one. Fourth quadrant. No, not minus. First, according to x-axis, touch towards x, you get 5. See, only if you're thorough with this, reflection will be easy, students. If not, definitely you'll get confused with the reflection concept. 5, and for x, what is the value? For y, minus 3. If you observe here, in the first quadrant, both are positive or negative. I'll put plus. In second quadrant, one is negative, the other one is positive. This is negative, y is positive, minus plus. In the third quadrant, in the fourth quadrant, and where are these points plotted? Is it on the reference line or in the quadrant? Quadrant. Okay, I didn't plot anything on the reference line, yellow or green. We'll do that next one. Okay, that will be the next concept. Now look here, I'll erase these points. All you have to remember is this value. Now in the first quadrant, what is the value of x and y? In the first quadrant, both are in, both are positive. So let me write first quadrant, x and y both are positive. Second quadrant, what about second? Positive. See, I'll teach a trick to remember this. First quadrant, third quadrant are in the opposite. They're opposite, right? So look at the sign, students. Both are positive. For third quadrant, both will be negative. In the same way, second and fourth quadrant. In second quadrant, first one is minus. Okay. And the second one is plus. This is how you have to remember. According to alphabetical order, M comes first, right? M, then you get P. Remember it like this. M is first, then you get P, minus and plus. What's the opposite of that? When you see plus and minus, in exam they'll ask you, they'll give you a point, minus 4 comma 3. Which quadrant this point lies in? You can't keep drawing axis like this and figure out. First one is minus, second quadrant. Yes, you have to be quick in answering. You can't draw entire axis and you can't keep finding the points. Understood about the quadrant, positive, negative? Yeah, completed. Write it above your one. Just draw the axis, write all these key points. And close your notes, students. Close your class notes, textbook, close everything. Just keep tuition book. Okay. So write once and just go through. It is very easy concept. Starting once or twice might be confusing. Okay, next concept. Look at the screen. If I plot a point on this center, students, where both x and y meet, this point we call it as origin. Okay, x-axis is yellow line, y-axis is the green line. Origin is, what is the value of x and y? For origin, it is always 0, comma 0. Okay, make a note. This is 0, comma 0. Now let us plot some point on the axis. The green and the yellow on our axis. If I plot it here, tell me the answer for this. On which axis have I plotted? No, no. Which axis did y? So x will not have any value. Keep it as 0. What is y value? Minus 2. This in question we read it like this. X is equal to 0. So if x is equal to 0, take x as 0, y value will be given. Okay, y is equal to minus 2. Next, if I plot a point here, what's the answer for this? 5, comma. For y there is no value, it is 0. Now I'll ask you opposite question. How do you plot this, students? On which axis? Not quadrant. How can it lie in quadrant? Hmm. Amy, quadrant in the sense both will have a value. Here, why does y have a value? No. Remember this, students, if any one value is 0, does it lie in quadrant or axis? If any one value is 0. So look at x as minus 5 is here. This is the answer. So how do you read this? X is equals to minus 5, y is equal to 0. That's it. You'll have questions for board exam. You have question based on only these three types. First is question based on quadrant. Okay. Concentrate here, students. Same like circle, same like other chapters where you studied chord, tangent, secant. Even here, only question based on these three types. Quadrant. Next one is origin based question and axis based question. Axis in the sense it can be x-axis or y-axis. Yes. See, I'm teaching here. If you miss, I can't teach again. Okay. Only when I'm teaching, if you're leaving, I can't teach again, students. Next concept. So this is the basic. We'll start with reflection. So whatever we studied coordinate system, that was your ninth concept. This is 10th, reflection. So what is basically reflection, students? Reflection is nothing but imagine a mirror. This is a mirror. Okay. If a point A is given, and whenever I talk about a point, it's a coordinate system. Okay, the coordinate will have both x and y. So in your textbook or when I'm explaining, I won't keep writing x and y. I'll just mention as point A. So you have to understand that is on the axis. So a point A, this is A and B. Line, let me take line PQ. So from P and Q, the point A is 2 centimeters away. 2 centimeters. This is the same concept. Even in real life, the mirror works in the same principle. If this is 2 centimeters and this is the mirror, this object will get reflected on the opposite direction with the same value, 2 centimeters away. And this you have to name it as A dash. Okay, this is the concept of reflection. And reflection can happen anywhere, opposite to x-axis, opposite to y-axis, opposite to origin. Okay, so reflection is also based on three types. One is they'll ask reflection on the axis, they'll ask reflection on origin, reflection on the quadrant. These are the three types of questions. Understood what is reflection? That's it. Basic concept. Remember, distance is same, students. Distance is same. Now I'll ask you a question. Let me plot it. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 2. Okay, let me plot a point here, A, and this point is getting reflected on the x-axis. What will be the answer for A dash? It is getting reflected on x-axis. This is the question. All of you will answer. First, find out the point, students. Where is the point lying? 3, comma 2. Okay. With the graph, I'll teach you. Even without graph, it is possible if you understand the plus and minus rule concept, which I taught you all in the beginning. If it is reflecting on the x-axis, where is x-axis? Is it below this A or on the left hand side? On the right hand side, where is x-axis? All of you will respond. Isn't it below A? So where will this reflection take place? In which quadrant? Fourth quadrant, right? In fourth quadrant, what is the sign? What's the sign? Sign. I'm asking about sign. Plus and minus. So sign will be plus and minus. Number will be same. What's the answer? 3. That's the answer. Plus 3 comma minus 2. Is this clear? Now look at this. This is the answer, students. 3 comma 2. Look. If you see the distance here, there are two values. So even here it should be 3 comma minus 2. This is point A dash. That's it. Now if I tell the same point, if it's getting reflected on the y-axis, where will the reflection take place? Which quadrant? Correct. Second quadrant, what is the sign? Minus. I told you all M first and P next. Minus and plus. Minus and plus. Number will remain the same. What's the answer? Minus 3 plus 2. The point is somewhere here. Now, if I tell the point is getting reflected through the origin, concentrate, look at the screen, through the origin. So where will it reflect? Whenever I mention origin, students, remember it is always opposite, cross direction, like diagonal. Can you see this origin? Right? So you can't keep a scale and measure. In third quadrant, what's the value? What's the sign? Yes. What's the answer? Minus 3 comma minus 2. The point is somewhere here. Is this clear? Understood? All three types of reflection. All 4 points are clear. Minus 3 comma. Now, this is the first type of question they'll ask in board exam. First, they'll tell you normal points, then they'll ask you reflection. After that, what kind of image is formed when you connect all four? What kind of image is this? How do you know it's a rectangle? What's the property of rectangle? See, now look here. From O, what's the distance, students? Ignore negative. Just tell me how many units are there. 3 units. And here, 3 plus 3. This entire thing is 6. How many units are here? Yeah, start from origin always. Here we have 2, here 2. 4 and 4. Is it a square or a rectangle? Rectangle. And this I'll name it as A triple dash. Therefore, you have to write A dash, A double dash, and A triple dash. Okay. Or they'll give you some specific alphabets. Write that is a rectangle. If you do it like this type of question they ask for 3 or 4 marks. This is all about reflection. Nothing difficult. There's one more concept left, but this is the basic concept of reflection. Understood? Any doubts in reflection? Next, invariant point. Last concept is invariant. We call it as invariant point or invariant reflection. So what do you mean by variant, students? Variant or variable? What's the general meaning of variable? Changing. Invariant is opposite, which does not. What's the meaning which does not change? So if they ask you to find invariant point, they'll give you 3 comma minus 2. In which quadrant does it lie? First one is plus, second is minus. Which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. This lies in the fourth quadrant. If they ask you to find invariant reflection of this, the value will not change. It will remain the same. What's the answer for invariant reflection? The answer is just as it is. Just keep 3 comma minus 2. If I write 0 comma 0, what's the answer? It is 0 comma 0. So very simple. Don't try to mug up. Is the basic word. Variant meaning is variable. Invariant is doesn't vary, does not change. Okay, now open your textbook, look at the first exercise. Let me put the question on the screen. And there are few more, one or two tough concepts. We'll do that later. Angel, is Angel online? Malavika, Angel, Cecilia, did you understand? Okay, so this is your final year students, or in 10th. You should understand I can't keep asking questions. Tell you all to concentrate. Okay, so maximum I'll cover everything, including board exam paper. If you have any doubts, get it clarified. Now, do you have graph with you all? Sorry, graph is important. Do you have graph sheet with you all? All of you will respond. Wait, let me see from which questions I need graph. Point, reflector, triangle, ABC. Attempt the question. Okay, from 9th you'll need graph. Anyways, for now, without graph we'll solve. How many MCQs are there? Okay, MCQ will do last. Look at the second question. State the coordinates of the following points under the reflection x is equal to, state the coordinate of the following points. Under y is equal to 0. If x is equal to 0, following point. So what's the actual point we have, students? Minus 6 comma 4. Where is this reflection taking place? x is equal to 0 in the sense x value will be 0. So it's taking place in y axis. So what will be the answer here? Just put 0 comma 4. Only y will be. Can you just check the answer? Is it 0 comma 4 under y axis? Point P is find the coordinate. What's the answer? 6 comma. Okay, just let's take the coordinates of the point under reflection. X is equal to 0. If x is 0, you get 0 comma 4. 6 comma 4 is in which quadrant, student? 6 comma 4. 6 comma 4. Okay, so the question is like this. If x is 0, there's no reflection here. Then obviously the reflection is in which axis? No, no, no. Which axis? X or y? Y axis. If it is y, where is the mirror placed? On the x axis or y axis? The mirror is on y axis. So how will it reflect? In which quadrant? It should reflect in the first quadrant. In first quadrant, what is the value? Both are. So the answer is 6 comma 4. That is the meaning of x is equal to 0. Okay. In the second quadrant, y is equal to 0. Then where is the mirror placed, students? In which axis mirror is placed? For the third question, if y is equal to 0, the mirror is placed in which axis? X axis. Yes. Try the second one. The second one. Draw a rough diagram like this. Be quick, second and third. Just rough diagram is enough. Don't need graph for this. First I'll explain like this, then I'll teach you direct methods towards and learn directly. All of you completed. Put second main second was 0, comma 5. What do you mean by 0, comma 5? Which axis? Yes, it's not on quadrant, it's on axis. What's the answer here? 0, comma 5. Take care. 1, 2, this is 5. And what do you mean by reflection on x? No, no. What do you mean by reflection x is equal to 0? Where is the mirror placed? Y-axis? Remember, when the mirror is placed on y-axis and if the point is also on the same axis to them, the reflection is known as invariant point. Okay, the reflection will, the value will not change, it is just 0, comma 5. For example, if you're standing here and if the mirror is placed here, where is your reflection? Opposite side will be a dash, right? I'll tell you what is invariant point. But imagine if you are standing here and if you're holding a mirror, do you think reflection is possible? No, reflection is not possible, student. This is known as reflection on the own axis, invariant point. Just imagine you're holding a mirror, not facing towards you. See, this is the mirror, but it should be in a flat line. Imagine you're holding it in a flat line, there won't be any reflection. Fine. So this is the concept. I'll teach you direct method now. Whenever they tell x is equal to 0, remember only x value will change. X value will change. Value in the sense sign. When they tell y is equal to 0, which value will change here? Which sign will change? Only yes, y sign will change. Value in the sense number will be the same. Only the y sign will change. Make a note. Now based on this, can you tell me the first question? Minus 6 comma 4. If x is 0, which value will change? X sign will change. So minus 6 becomes 6 comma 4. Now tell me the answer for 0 comma 5, students. 0 is neutral. Yes, 0 is. If I write 3 comma 4, not 4. I told only y will, x will. Is this clear? So even diagram is not required. Just make a note of this statement. Now complete the third one. Make a note of statement, complete the third one. Okay. Complete it. All of them complete it. Okay. So you have to remember two things here, students. Two things. First thing, if I tell x is equal to 0 or reflected in y-axis. Okay, first let me complete the third one. Yeah, what's the answer for this? If y is equal to 0, which value will change? Only y value, right? So what kind of, they'll ask you one more question. Is the value changed or remain the same? Remain, what kind of reflection is this? What's this particular, no, 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 invariant, invariant or invariable? Just refer your textbook, invariable or invariant, here it is, invariant points. Okay, so basically invariant point is, if just example student, just remember, imagine you're holding a mirror, that is invariant point. You're not standing opposite, I mean not in front or behind, you're just holding the mirror so that the reflection will be 0. Next, comma minus 5. If y is equal to 0, what's the answer? 8 comma 5. Only y value will change. What's the answer? These are the answers, minus 1 comma 3. Okay, so we, let us, you have to think about it. How will you remember this, students? How will you remember this? If not, you will forget. After 1 or 2 weeks, you will forget. How will you remember? If x is 0, which one you have to change? No, see, who told y value? 2 minutes back I taught you, you forgot. If x is 0, which value will change? If y is 0, so that's the reason I told. You will definitely forget. You will get confused. If x is 0, how will you remember this? Okay, just try to remember x is equal to 0 because there are two concepts here which you get confused. Look at the fourth question now. A point P is reflected in which axis? All of you will respond. If only the word x-axis is mentioned, what did I tell? Y should be equal to what? Y will be equal to 0. If y is 0, which value will change? X value or y value? Y value. So if it is minus 4 comma 5, what will be the answer? This is the answer. I'll repeat again. A point is reflected in the x-axis. So where is the reflection happening? On which axis? X-axis. If reflection is happening x-axis, definitely y is 0. Y is not related, right? So what will you have to take y value as? Y is, you have to imagine y as 0. If y is 0, what did I tell? Which value will change? Y value. The reason I'm telling you all, I'm asking you all, how will you remember this? For example, in GST concept, you'll remember I taught you all intersection, not intersection. What is that? Intrastate, same state, different state. In the same way, how will you all remember y is 0? Okay, just try to remember because I can't connect it with any other example. We'll try the fourth question. A point P is reflected in the x-axis. Okay, if it is reflecting the x-axis, take y is equal to 0 and the coordinates are 4, comma 5. Find the coordinate of P. First question, students. What's the coordinate of P? Which value will change if y is equal to 0? The answer is second question. Find the coordinate of the image of P. Now this coordinate you have to relate. What's the P value we got? P is equal to 4, comma 5. Read the question carefully. Find the coordinate of this image under reflection in which axis? Reflection in? No, reflection in which axis? Y-axis? If reflection is in y-axis, what you have to take x as? 0. If x is 0, which value will change? No, x sign will change. So what is the image formed? Take it as p dash 4, comma minus 5 will remain as it is. Which one did I take? Did I take p value or the main question? Yes, you are supposed to take p value. Is this clear? All of you understood? Okay, now make a note of this, students. Look at the screen, all of you. Stop writing. This is the important part. Reflection. What is given? Reflection. Each textbook, each questions, or each teacher, the way they teach will differ. Look at reflection under reflection in the reflection on the x-axis. This is an important concept. Make a note. If if this word is given, reflection under x-axis, in the x-axis, on the x-axis, what you have to take y as? You have to assume y is equal to 0. Then which sign will change? Y sign changes. Make a note. Give an example. 2, comma 3. What's the answer? Minus. If you become thorough with this, that's it. 50-60% of the chapter is easy to solve. If it's y-axis, x is equal to 0. What's the answer, students? If you want, take a screenshot or just write it. These two are most important points. So most of your questions are related to this. So today what did we study? Write it, write it. Okay, if I tell reflection under origin or reflection in the origin, students, remember both the sign will change. Okay, both sign changes. If I write 2 comma 3, what's the answer? Minus. If I write minus 3 comma minus 2, yes. So what did we study? What are the concepts? What are the main three concepts we have in this reflection? What did I tell you? Reflection on axis, reflection on origin, and what's the other one? Reflection on quadrant. So today we finished axis, origin. Tomorrow I'll teach you quadrant. All of you completed, done? Okay. Try the fifth and sixth one for homework, students. And those who don't complete homework and send it, I'm not going to let you all in the next class. Okay? Is it clear, all of you? Because I'm doing it from your textbook, not from RS Agarwal or other textbook. From your textbook, you'll have the questions, write it neatly and send it. If not, I won't let you all for the next class. The contain this and origin. Okay, just try the fifth main for homework. Only one question. Where is the reflection? In the origin, right? Mention the reason properly. If it is origin, both the coordinates will change and the next reflection is in the x-axis. Think about this, complete and send it. Okay. Okay, if you have no doubts, you all can leave. We'll continue tomorrow.